ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea, the official specialty coffee of Disney Parks. You can find Joffrey's Coffee and specialty drinks in the parks, at Disney Springs, or online at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, also known as the gateway to the magic for all of you who have maybe just found us. On this episode today, we're going to be joined by a super looper who I've talked to in the past. Long-time listener, we're going to introduce him right now. It's Mr. Chris Banks.
Hello, I am very happy to be here with you. I've loved the show for a while, so I'm happy to be on here with you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. We're going to have a great topic coming up. But before we get into that, I want to hear about, what's your Disney legacy, or what made you a Disney fan, how long you've been going, that kind of thing. Well,
it's kind of a funny story with me. Our first trip was, probably 7-ish years ago, and I was mad, didn't want to go. I thought, well, this is silly, why would I want to go to this place? And my wife did all this planning, and I basically just stayed out of it. And finally we get down there, and it was my first day at Animal Kingdom, and we went back because we left and came back, and there was something about when we came back, that park just sucked me in. And after that, I was obsessed. And now we go a couple times a year, and I can't stay away from it. I help people plan their vacations and everything. So I went from this is awful to this is the best place on earth.
Awesome. It pulls you right in. You try to explain it to people, why you love it, and either they get it or they don't.
It's not always an easy thing to explain.
Chris, you joined us on a show today. I thought we came up with a topic here. I thought this would be fun to talk about.
Yeah, I'm excited about this topic.
All right. This is bad decisions that could ruin your vacation.
There are a lot of those.
There are a lot. We're going to catch on some of the biggies, and I figure, Chris, after we do the show, we'll throw it out for a Looper Nation poll and see what we missed.
That sounds like a good idea.
Because I don't want to lump you in with me, but I'm kind of a dork. So I'm sure there's some out there that I didn't think of.
Oh, I'm sure.
So let's get started. Chris, what's one of your bad decisions that could ruin your Disney vacation?
I feel like the most obvious one is you either don't plan enough or you plan way too much. I think there's a perfect middle ground there, because when you overplan, you think, well, this is my perfect schedule. This day's going to happen like this. And then you're all stressed all day because there's no way those parks are going to allow you to do your perfect schedule. Whereas if you don't plan enough, then you get there and you don't have anything reserved. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? All these people. I feel like that could kill you if you don't go right in the middle.
I love that, because I was just telling somebody at work earlier this week, they're thinking of going, like we were talking before the show, it's almost their Fast Pass time. What should they do? And I said, first of all, if you know about Fast Pass times and Fast Passes, you're ahead of half the people that are already going down there.
That's true. I feel like the most asked question I get is, how much do they cost? It's like,
right.
No. In your ticket.
You try to explain it to people, and Disney, they do a good job trying to get it out there, but a lot of people, like you said, aren't planning enough or at all. So
it drives me crazy.
kind of along that same lines. One of mine are maybe people going into their vacation, a little planning for too robust of a vacation, and maybe it's their first trip, and they're adding on the park hopper.
Yeah.
So, they got this fantasy that, we're going to go to the Magic Kingdom for a couple hours, knock out Fantasyland. Then we're just going to take that quick jaunt over to the Animal Kingdom, knock that out over there, and then maybe hit dinner over at Epcot.
Oh, yeah. I've had people kind of say that to me before, and it's just like, goodness, just stay in one park. My gosh, just be okay with it.
Yes.
You won't get everything done in your first 2 trips in that one park.
One, if you spent the extra money for everybody in your party to have a park hopper, and you're on the bus or waiting for the bus to get on the bus to go to the other park. Now you're going, now we're just sitting outside. We're not even in a park right now. So now you're watching dollar signs go by. You're watching the clock tick down. Take that stress out of your vacation altogether.
That's perfect. I never really, especially on your first trip, just enjoy it. Don't worry about getting everything all the time.
It's hard enough to get people on their trip to go back to the hotel and maybe just get a nap or a swim in for an hour.
Yeah, we learned that, especially with kids, we learned that leaving for 2 or 3 hours is the best thing you could possibly do.
Right, exactly.
Honestly, going along with that, I think that's a big one for me is not planning for the fact that the sun in Florida hates you. I've never experienced heat quite like that state. And if you don't plan for those breaks, you're going to be destroyed by midday.
That's a good point. Honestly, you need to start hydrating a week ahead of time.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, my family hates the water there. I don't taste anything weird, but they all say it tastes weird. I've not gotten that.
It's hit or miss where you're at. It depends on the water fountain, the resort. It depends on a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's decent or not.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. Although we did have a kind of a magical moment once. It was a blazing hot day. We were in Frontierland, and the kids were miserable. And I went and ordered that. I think they got frozen lemonades, and my wife and I got a drink. And I went to hand her the money, and she was like, "Nope, you're fine." They just handed me the drinks and let us go on.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was super nice.
A little bit of pixie dust.
Like it.
Wow. And this isn't one of mine, but I'm going to throw it out there. Don't hesitate to buy water. No one wants to spend that amount of money for a bottle of water, but if there's no water fountain nearby and you or somebody with you needs water, just go ahead and buy some water. Oh,
gosh, I completely agree with that.
At this point, I'd almost rather just buy it than carry it around with me all day long.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We kind of made that mistake on our first trip. My backpack weighed me down, and each trip after it got a little bit lighter every time.
Yes.
But now it's like there's a few things we need, but that's it.
Chris, wait till your kids get older, and they don't need the stroller anymore. You won't know where to put your stuff.
Oh, we were talking about that. I think that's why we had the new baby. That way we'd have a reason.
Chris, what's next on your list for bad decisions that could ruin your Disney vacation?
I sometimes I go in those parks and I see people wearing sandals, and I feel like that's a terrible decision. Oh. I have tennis shoes that I put on and walk around the block like 3 weeks before we go.
Great.
And I don't know how those people are walking in sandals without hating themselves by the end of the day. I feel like my feet would just be like, "You're done. No more parks."
That's such a great call. I think people, they know they're going to be doing a lot of walking. I don't think normally if it's your first time, you have no idea how much walking you're going to do.
Oh gosh, yeah. I like to track it on my phone. It's like 25,000 steps by the end of the day.
At home, it's like 12.
The place I work, we have a parking garage that's a 10-minute walk, and still, I'd take that any day over walking in the parks all day.
Piggybacking on your shoes, don't underestimate getting a shoe. This is my problem. Well, besides being a huge foot, being a wide foot. Get the right width for your feet.
I'm cheap, which drives my wife crazy. So we go to get shoes, and she's like, "You need these because these are going to be the best at the park." And I'm like, "Well, I could spend like $10." No. Or I've been the genius who wore sandals to drive in, and then I get there and think, "Oh, my shoes are back home."
Good tip for that. There's Nike outlets right outside the parks.
Oh, well, that's there you go.
I've been known to buy an extra pair of shoes just for that reason. I know way too much about shoes in Disney, by the way. I could have done a whole show on this. I used to be a big cross-trainer shoe type guy because I like the extra lateral support. But they're warm. They're hot. You go with the actual running shoes, they're made for ventilation. And in Florida, you get the cushioning. They're cool. Fantastic.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, maybe I'll do that when we leave next month. I'll go look for a pair like that.
Report back. I want to know what shoe you got and make sure you got the right width.
There you go.
Here's another thing. On bad decisions, that could ruin your Disney vacation. This might not ruin your vacation, but it could ruin your mindset, make you angry. Don't splurge on a hotel that you're not going to get to enjoy.
That's really good.
If you're planning on going commando, you might not want to splurge for that contemporary suite overlooking the park when you're going to go back right at park close and go to bed.
Yeah, that's good. Honestly, our favorite. We love the Little Mermaid rooms in Art of Animation. I mean, they're not that expensive and they're nice little rooms. And I mean even walking from there to the cafeteria or the big blue pool there, it's not a bad walk, and it's kind of nice walking through all those areas.
Have you stayed there since the Skyliner opened?
No, we haven't been back since.
Okay.
We were there during construction was the last time we stayed there.
So you said you were going in a few weeks from now when we record this. Is that where you're going to be staying again?
Actually, we planned this vacation with a lot of other people, and now none of them are going. So we actually got a house just off property that we stay in sometimes. But it's nice because it's like 5 minutes from Hollywood Studios. So
nice.
It's a good little place, and it has its own swimming pool, which when you come back from the park, there's nothing better than getting in that pool without anybody else in it.
That's true, too. Just got your own kids starting their own little splash zone, their own little wave pool.
That's right. We even have a big flounder float that we throw in there with us.
So, yeah, that was mine. Don't overspend on a hotel. A lot of people, for their first trip, they are planning on going commando. They see, these hotels, we're going to have a great time at the hotel, but, they're not going back for the nap. They're not going back to swim. They're going back after the park's closed. Sometimes the value is perfect.
I completely agree. My favorite resort just to go to is the Poly, but honestly, like, it's tough for me to be like, I'm going to spend all this money, but never be here. Because, I mean, we're never in that house for the most part.
Right. Little hidden gem. Don't forget you can get the Tonga toast down at the fast food one. Was it Captain Jack's? Captain Jack's? No, Captain Jack's.
Captain Cook's.
Captain Cook's. Polynesian magic.
That Tonga toast is delicious. Actually, one of our jokes 2 trips ago, I think my oldest son had a Dole Whip, and probably 10 minutes later, he was just unbearable. So our joke now is he can't have another one because those make him cranky.
Oh, I thought maybe it was oversugared, like, Dash from The Incredibles.
Could be that too.
He's racing the monorail and winning. What's your next tip for bad decisions that could ruin your Disney vacation?
I honestly kind of going out with the somewhat to the planning, but also with the food we were just talking about are the people who don't make those fast passes in advance and don't make those dining reservations in advance and then walk into the parks and think they're going to be able to jump on anything or just go buy some pass at a window where they can jump in front of the line. Like I try to hammer that into people's heads when they're taking their first trip is you have to get on early in the morning and get those fast passes.
Right. Yes. Actually, I had the same thing on my list. Not utilizing fast passes or trying to use them incorrectly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, our plan is usually try to have them done by 11 or 12 so that way if we either leave or know we're staying, we can do some air-conditioned things in the middle of the day.
Right. Chris, here's another one of my tips. This is just going to save you stress later. If you see that one souvenir and you want it, get it while you see it.
Yes.
You don't want to say, I'll just get that back at the hotel now that I know what I want. And then you get back to the hotel, it's not there. And then maybe you're not going back into the park where it was. And if it's something for your kids or something your kids want, that opens a whole other Pandora box of emotions you have to deal with.
Gosh, tell me about it. I didn't even think about that, but because I think the one time we've done that was something Haunted Mansion related, and it's like, we're probably in the gift shop, but that's a 50-50 if it's even that good of a shot that you're going to be able to find what you want.
Do you remember what it was? Was it at Memento Mori, I believe?
Yeah, it was over there, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I know we bought a coffee cup there, and unfortunately I put it in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher ruined it, so I got to use it once, and then the dishwasher killed the cup. So.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, they're not designed for that generally. Oh, although I do the same thing. I'm too lazy to hand wash a lot of things, so I'll just throw them in anyway. I'm like, well, they're not going to live forever.
Well, we've gotten plastic cups before that like seemed like good plastic.
Yeah.
They went in the dishwasher and it's like, well, now I have a tiny cup.
Right. At the end of the day, it's another reason to go back.
There you go. That's what that's for.
Now, here's one I initially wouldn't have thought of until a couple trips ago. If you need an ECV or someone in your party needs an ECV to really enjoy the parks, don't be afraid to rent one.
Yeah, because, man, I couldn't imagine if you need one of those and don't have it. Oh, that'd be miserable. That'd be the least magical place.
Yeah, we traveled with my wife's parents. We rented two. The trip was fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, gosh.
Matter of fact, it was tough for me to keep up with everybody because they were zipping up ahead.
That's funny.
But, at the end of the day, then everybody's, nobody's exhausted from walking. Everybody feels good. Everybody's ready to go the next day. And isn't that what you want to have at the end of the day? You had a good day.
That's very true.
Then you just want to plug it in and have another good day the next day.
That's perfect.
Chris, what's on your list? What continues to go down your list for the bad decisions that could ruin your Disney vacation?
One that I kind of gone back and forth on how to even look at it is, we've said, it's hot and things don't always go to plan. And I feel like sometimes people's first reaction is to take that out on the nearest cast member. I've seen some like serious abuse to cast members, and it's just like, back off. They're there to try to help. Like, they're not doing anything. I get that you're hot, but there's no reason to be mean to them because they're genuinely just there trying to help you. And I always feel bad when I see people doing that, and I feel like if you're just taking it out on everybody else, then you're going to ruin your party's experience too. So, if you feel like you're going to be mad, maybe that's when you leave the park.
That's a great tip. Love it. Chris, before we wrap it up, I have one more of these that could ruin your Disney vacation, a bad decision.
All right.
It's one, but it could be broken up in two different ways. It's staying too long. I know you're saying to yourself, I can't stay too long in the Disney park or Disney vacation. I think maybe you can. The too longs are, one, you're staying too long in the parks in the evening for your family, depending on ages and if you were able to take a rest during the day. And the second was, maybe you're staying too many days. If you have somebody in your family that's kind of a homebody, and maybe after 4 or 5 days, they kind of wish they were home, and maybe they've done everything they kind of wanted to do. Because what you want to do, Chris, I'm going to throw this out to you.
All right.
When you leave Disney, on the way home, you want to start talking about your next trip.
100%. That's all we do. We plan the next trip all the way home.
It's always better to leave wanting more rather than saying, I'm glad we're going home.
Oh, I agree. We're bad about buying like 5 days worth of tickets, and by the third day, the kids are like, "Look, we're done. We don't want to go to those parks anymore."
Really? Where's the pool?
Exactly. That's all they care about after about 3 days worth of parks. So that's perfect. You can definitely get you can overdo it pretty easily.
Long vacations are great, and if you're going to pace yourselves, like if you go down for 10 days and you get yourself a 10-day. Maybe 10 days of Hopper's pretty good. You can, get your money's worth out of the 10-day. And you do half days in the parks and you enjoy your resorts and you enjoy Disney Springs. That's a great way to go.
Yeah. That'd be about the only way I could do it, honestly. We usually do 6 or 7 days, and by the end of it, we're definitely all ready to hit the road and get home.
Right. So, again, it also depends, if you're traveling with a family of 4, 5, 6, you have a whole lot of different personalities you need to kind of manage and make sure, everybody's happy and kind of on the same page. And
this is very true.
If it's just you and a couple, you can just say, you ready to go? Yep. Okay, let's go.
When it's just my wife and I, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, definitely with the kids, because each one reacts much differently, especially when they get to that I'm exhausted phase.
Before we wrap it up again, I want to know, what are your kids' favorite attractions down there, and you and your wives?
Mine and my wife is definitely the Haunted Mansion. My Magic Band is one side's the butler and one side is the maid.
Oh, nice.
And my oldest he kind of teeters, but I think his favorite's Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. My middle is Peter Pan, and we have to do that. We have to rope drop it because he has to go through the queue. He does not like to miss that queue.
Oh, that's awesome. You don't hear too much about people enjoying the queues. You hear it sometimes, but usually we got a schedule we got to keep.
That's true. It's run. But yeah, he loves that queue. If we don't go through it, he is not happy.
Let's wrap up. Chris, you know what we're going to do with the rest of the show?
What's that?
We're going to make this a Looper Nation poll. I want to know what everybody's bad decisions they know of or have done.
That sounds like an excellent idea. I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say on this.
That's right. I forgot the second half of my sentence. That could ruin your Disney vacation. I said it enough during the show. I'm going to leave all that in, Chris. It's fantastic.
That works.
So yeah, that's our next Looper Nation poll. What decisions have you either witnessed or taken a part of that were not a positive experience for your Disney vacation? That way we can get all these out there. Everybody can read all these, and we can help get everybody a fantastic Disney vacation. Chris, thank you very much for joining us on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
The best way is probably my Twitter handle. I'm on there the most. It's at ParkListChris, and that's KRIS.
Chris, thank you again for joining us on the show. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. If you're thinking of booking a trip, we'll make sure you don't make bad decisions on your Disney vacation over at ResortLoop.com. Everybody, please go out there and share the gateway to the magic. Wrap it up, Chris.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.